Nothing changes and nothing changes, man. You know, we'll sit around forever wondering, well, what if I was a dog catcher? Would I be the best? You know, would I be able to do it? Would I? You don't know.
In life, folks, you cannot change your life unless you change something. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
You'll never have that kind of relationship in a world where you're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road.
You gonna take the professor's side on
Don't
this?
give me a line of shit, no.
Look, I didn't want the job.
It's not about the job. I don't care if you work for the government. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. Sometimes you act on it good, sometimes bad. You gotta change the internal dialogue. That person in your head that's talking that shit to you, until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you gotta change that shit, man. I once had that mentality, that no one understands what the fuck I'm going through. And if you keep that mentality, you're gonna stay in the same exact spot that you're in.
There are nothing but difficulties in achieving your goal. Listen, folks, success is hard. It's really hard. We just need to get that part straight. Success is hard. But I got news for you. Having lived in a car for 3 years, being not successful is hard too. Now here's the difference between the two hards. Being not successful and hard, and trying to become successful and hard. When you are not successful and hard, there are no options. You can't decide where you're going to dinner. You can't decide if you're going to buy a pair of shoes. You can't decide if you're going on vacation. You can't decide what you're going to eat. You don't have options. On the road to success, it's hard, but it creates options for you.
Until you say, yeah, I'm gonna take action. Nothing changes if nothing changes, man. I just want to remind you, because I've spent a lot of time in my life sitting around wanting things to change. And not being able to make them change, and not thinking I could. And I wish somebody had told me that earlier sometimes. That in order for something to change, there needs to be change.
We're not going to be here forever, so use the time that you have, like right now. Right now, think about something you always wanted to do, always wanted to go, and go do it. Just do the best you can. These are years that you can't get back. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent, guys. You know? So do the best you can, and don't try to it's so easy to waste time. You know how easy it is if you want to be a failure? It's very simple. Just don't do anything. You have to do nothing. Want to be a failure? Don't do anything. You want to do something with your life? You got to do something. Somebody said, was it Marcus Aurelius, that you got to have a routine. People without a routine waste their life. And boy, is that true. You gotta have a routine. You gotta get up in the morning know what you're gonna do. If you don't have a routine, your life is like haphazard. It's like a motorboat in the ocean without a rudder. It's got a big engine, but it doesn't have a rudder. And if you don't have a rudder, you're just, going all over the place.
You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's 2 conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it. Develop a vision, and you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know that everyone who knows the underlying neuroscience knows this. Almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Why not you? I want you to take that personal. Why not? Why not? You've got to stay here till you go. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Why not see how much you can do, how far you can go? But I want you to take it personal. And my personal question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
What do you want? What do you want? You got to change something. Well, you know, a lot of actors, you know, I don't want to go see that. You know, they feel funny. They don't want to see a director or see people. I go, no. You got to try. You got to get out there. You got to fake it till you make it. Do something. You know, they get embarrassed because they're not working. I said, well, then if you don't want to meet people, you'll always be not working. You got to get out there.
You need a fantasy, just like a little kid playing house, right? Figure out what you want, write it down, figure out what you could do to start moving towards that, okay? Do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Think about your misuse of alcohol and drugs and other things that might drag you down.
I took a chance. I just jumped. I tell everybody, you, at one point in your life, you're gonna have to jump. You just gotta go. You gotta go. You cannot play it safe your whole life. You know, ships are safe when they're in port, right? A ship is safe in port, but that ain't what ships is built for. You're built to sail. You're built to be in rough water. You're built to go far away places. You are not built to stay in port. If your job is your port, now if it's the job of your dreams, that's one thing, but if you don't like your job, you just staying in port because it's safe, you're not built for that. You're a ship, you're built to sail. You're built for troubled waters. You just need God on the boat with you. That's all you need, and you go on about your business and live your life and be free. You know, that's the thing. You have to take chances, man. If you play it safe, man, it's not a good life. Safe is not a good life. You got to take risk, man.
What makes you comfortable can ruin you. And what makes you uncomfortable is the only way to grow. Let me say that again. What makes you comfortable can ruin you, and only in a state of discomfort can you continually grow.
And so one of my favorite quotes is, the work works on you more than you work on it. And so if you want to be the best in the world at something, you do the work to become the best in the world, and the work works on you. And so, I mean, there's a biblical proverb, I think it says like, there is profit in all labor. And that means that even if the thing that you're working on right now doesn't amount to the outcome that you expected that it would, it doesn't mean that you don't become better through doing it.
This thing that we all have, everyone has, and not just me, I mean everybody that does anything has. And it's like this voice in your head that wants you to do nothing. This voice in your head, and he calls it resistance.
Yeah.
And he talks about this resistance that is in your head, and that you have to decide that you are a professional. This is what a professional does. A professional goes to work, and what works is, if you dedicate your time and your focus, like realistically, with a professional, disciplined effort to creativity, you show up every day like a professional, but you show up to be creative. If you just do it on a regular basis, ideas will come to you. Where are these ideas coming from? Well, his concept was to think of it as, you're a professional and you're getting these ideas from the muse. And this is what you do. You show up and you do the work, you focus on it, and these ideas will come to you. So every day, at the same time, you sit down in front of your keyboard and you start working. And just put in the work, and force yourself to do it. You force it like a muscle, like the same muscle that you develop when you go running every day, and then you get to the point where like 7 days in, you start fucking feeling good running.
Right. So you start to feel like you're good at it.
You start feeling like you're getting better.
Yeah.
Because you're putting in the time.
I want everything to be perfect before something happens. That's how I am. I want everything to be, look, as soon as everything gets all lined up, gets all perfect, then this will happen. I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life. As soon as these things line up, I'm going to live my life. You know, Dustin Poirier noticed that about me. And he said to me point blank, he said, hey man, you can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life.